Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Kenneth. I'm an alcoholic. Today is a darn good day to be sober.
Yes.
This is not a regular meeting. It's a 12-step workshop. It's a sponsorship workshop we do every third Saturday. And the Caring and Sharing group sponsors it. Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength, and hope with each other that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organization, or institution, does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. May we have a moment of silence followed by the serenity prayer. God, grant me serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change things I can, and the wisdom to know deliverance. In this meeting, we don't read how it works because we got some idiot that's a speaker who's supposed to be telling us how it works. But we do ask somebody to read a couple of the traditions.
Yes.
A couple. One, our common welfare should come first. Personal coverage depends on AA unity. And 3, the only requirement for AA membership is a desire to stop drinking.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone attending the very first AA meeting anytime, anywhere? Is anyone attending this group for the first time and like to be recognized? Okay. They say we ask all who share to confine their discussion to their problem with alcohol. That includes the speaker. Now, I'm going to eliminate the rest of this. I'm going to introduce the idiot. My name is Kenneth. I'm an alcoholic. This is interesting. It's the topic of this. But before I say anything, y'all, I'd like to say that I'm only sober by God's grace and His mercy. And that I'm thankful to God for being sober. I'm thankful for my sponsor who freely transmitted to me what was freely transmitted to him. I'm thankful for the first 100 men and women. I'd like to acknowledge the first 100 men and women because they wrote one of the greatest literary masterpieces of the 20th century. And I'm thankful to the Delta Club for allowing us to have this place to be able to conduct the workshop in order to help us and help a newcomer. And I'm thankful for all of the people that God has put in my life that work with me and help me to stay sober and right-minded. And last but not least, I'm thankful to my wife, Susan, who has been my greatest support. I mean, she works tirelessly. To be honest with you all, she is the power behind the workshop. I'm just the mouthpiece. I'm the front man. They hear me, but the CDs and the flyers and the food and putting all that together, Susan does all that. I'm just the front man. This is a workshop called The Simplicity of the 11th Step. It's not the 11th step. It's the simplicity of the 11th step. And this came about for a reason. You know, most people are familiar with prayer. Most people don't see no misunderstanding about prayer, even though a lot do. But the vast majority of people have some kind of clue and an idea to what prayer is. And the 11th step tells us that, let me see now, what does the 11th step say? We sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood it, praying only for knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry that out. Now, this topic, the simplicity of the 11th step, is crucial because many people misunderstand certain aspects of the 11th step, and meditation in particular. Simplicity, I wrote this down, And I'm thinking about getting a bigger board because my writing is all screwed up. But this word simplicity here, the meaning of that word is the quality or condition of being easy to understand or do. The second meaning is the state of being simple. Third meaning, plain, not fancy or complicated. So the simplicity of the 11th step brings us to that, and keeping that in mind, the meaning of the word meditation, once you look it up in the dictionary, the meaning of that word is written or a written or spoken discourse or expressing considered thoughts. A written or spoken discourse expressing considered thoughts, or pondering, reflecting, and giving thoughts to a particular subject. Once you look it up in a dictionary, that's exactly what it means. Y'all follow me with this, right?
Yes.
That's the exact meaning that they had. However, in the 12 and 12, in the book, the 12 and 12, they told us on page, what page this is? 97. In the 11th step, they said, Bill said, those of us who have come to make regular use of prayer would no more do without it than we would refuse air, food, or sunshine. And for the same reason, when we refuse air, light, or food, the body suffers. And when we turn away from meditation and prayer, we likewise deprive our minds, our emotions, and our intuitions of vitally needed support. As the body can fail its purpose for lack of nourishment, so can the soul. We all need the light of God's reality, the nourishment of His grace, and the nourishment of His strength, and the atmosphere of His grace. To an amazing extent, the facts of AA life confirm this ageless truth. And then he says, there is a direct linkage among self-examination, meditation, and prayer. Taken separately, these practices can bring much relief and benefit, taken separately. But when they are logically related and interwoven, and this part of this topic is exactly what is logically interwoven. That's language that I did not speak when I came in here. But that's part of the topic. He said, but when they are logically related and interwoven, the result is an unshakable foundation for life. Now and then we may be granted a glimpse of that ultimate reality, which is God's kingdom. And we will be comforted and assured that our destiny in that realm will be secure for so long as we try, however falteringly, to find and do the will of our own Creator. Then he said, as we have seen, self-searching is the means by which we bring new vision, action, and grace to bear upon the dark and negative side of our natures. Self-searching was the means by which we did that. That's self-examination. It was the means by which we brought God's grace on our negative side, the negative side of our natures. What now? Sometimes a person would come into the rooms, and I know many of us have seen it. After the person comes into the rooms and get a good feeling from us that they can do this thing, they got a week or two or get a day or so or whatnot, they start feeling good, they're just sober. Many don't even have a sponsor. And they hear us sharing on a particular topic, such as the 9th step. And then they want to go out and start making amends to people. Y'all ever heard that?
Yes.
They want to start making amends. However, making amends is necessary. It's good and it's wonderful. But for that particular person, it's illogical. Is that right or wrong?
That's right, man.
It's illogical. He's not prepared to be doing the ninth step. He doesn't have a sponsor yet. You see what I'm saying? A person can tell him, get the heck on out my, and he's subject, this has happened many times. So it would be illogical for a person to come into the rooms and start doing the ninth step work. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, well, by the same token, they have other people that comes into the room and they don't have a sponsor and they haven't worked the steps and they'll start sharing, well, I'm doing the 11th step every night. Well, I'm on page 86 and 87 every night. I'm reading when going to sleep and retiring at night every night. Y'all ever heard that? Mm-hmm. All right. That's necessary. It's good and it's wonderful. But for that particular person, in the step process now, it is highly illogical. Is that right or wrong?
Right.
That's one of the reasons why the 12 and 12 was not written in order to take people through the steps. Bill said further on in the 12 and 12, he said on page, what page is this? 99. He said in the 12 and 12 now, as beginners in meditation, we might now reread this prayer several times very slowly. Talking about the prayer of St. Francis. Remember when he said, God, make me a channel of thy peace, that where there's darkness I may bring light, etc., etc. Y'all remember that? So we're looking at this prayer. He says, savoring every word and trying to take in the deep meaning of each phrase and idea, it will help if we can drop all resistance to what our friend says. For in meditation, debate has no place. We rest quietly with the thought of someone who knows, so that we may experience and learn. As though lying upon a sunlit beach, let us relax and breathe deeply of the spiritual atmosphere with which the grace of this prayer surrounds us. Let us become willing to partake and be strengthened and lifted up by the sheer spiritual power, beauty, and love of which these magnificent words are the carriers. Let us look now upon the sea and ponder what its mystery is. And let us lift our eyes to the far horizon, beyond which we shall seek all those wonders still unseen. See, Bill wrote this 15 years after he wrote the big book. Y'all heard what I'm saying?
Yes.
That does not apply to a newcomer. A newcomer. As far as the 11th step is concerned, why would I send him to a sunlit beach when he ain't did an inventory yet? You heard what I'm saying? He ain't ready for the sunlit beach. This book was written, the purpose of the 12 and 12. It's written in the 12 and 12, so this is not Kenneth's words. The purpose of the 12 and 12 is to broaden and deepen the understanding of the steps. How can my understanding of the step be broadened and deepened if I haven't taken the steps to begin with? Does that make sense, though?
Yes.
So the person doing that in accordance with the process that we have is totally illogical. Interwoven, like weaving, threading, putting different strands together. One strand is self-examination, the other strand is meditation, and the other strand is prayer. Taken separately, they can mean a great deal. They're natural, wonderful, good, and necessary. But they won't produce an unshakable foundation for life. Any person doing just one of those things, like anybody that's threading or kneading something or putting something together, and they just got one thread, but they're supposed to have three. And if it's logical that the red comes after the yellow, and then comes the blue, and putting them together illogically, you're going to have a fabric that's not fit to be worn by anybody except a blind man. Am I right or wrong? They're going to produce a shirt that the average person wouldn't wear because it's been illogically put together. So, in bringing that out, and bringing out that topic, and saying what I'm saying, we didn't discuss simplicity. So, now what we do is we're going to go to the 11th step in the big book. Step 11 suggests asking myself questions that I'm not fit to answer or qualified to answer if I haven't been through the first 10 steps. Am I right or wrong? Now, where does step 11 start in the book?
85.
What page?
85.
65?
85.
85, okay. All right. That paragraph right before step 11 is very important. They told us, they said, much has already been said about receiving strength, inspiration, and direction from Him who has all knowledge and power. Now this is crucial. If we have carefully followed directions up until this point, we have begun to sense the flow of His Spirit into us. We only begun. And they emphasizing this. We have begun to sense the flow of His Spirit into us. To some extent, we have become God conscious. We have begun to develop this vital sixth sense. But we must go further, and that means more action. So in that, they reminded me after 10 that I'm just beginning. This is just the beginning, but it's not enough. Step 11 suggests prayer and meditation. We shouldn't be shy on this matter of prayer. Better men than we are using it constantly. It works if we have the proper attitude and work at it. I had to develop the proper attitude before I got here to this point. It would be easy to be vague about this matter. Bill is telling us something here. That word vague, as contrasted with this, vague means indistinct, unclear, and confusing. He said it would be easy to be vague. See, right now he's not sending us to the sunlit beach in taking the steps. He said, yet we believe we can make some definite mean exact, some definite and valuable suggestions. And that's what they're going to remain. Suggestions to some people. Because some people are going to take this however they so choose. Those of us who work the steps, according to this process, we appreciate the definite and valuable suggestions. When we retire at night, and that word when means at what or which time, at the time that, whatever time you retire. So he left no room for doubt or debate. When we retire at night, we constructively review our day, not destructively. Were we resentful, selfish, dishonest, or afraid? Do we owe an apology? Have we kept something to ourselves which should be discussed with another person at once? Were we kind and loving toward all? What could we have done better? Were we thinking of ourselves most of the time? Or were we thinking of what we could do for others, or what we could pack into the stream of life? But we must be careful not to drift into worry, remorse, or morbid reflection. These questions, approximately 12 or 13 of them, that I'm asking myself, I have already asked myself these questions in taking the self-appraisal, or the self-examination, or the moral inventory in step 4. Y'all heard me?
Yes.
So step 4 has qualified me to be able to answer this with the tools of honesty. Y'all heard me? Before I got that, I didn't have the necessary tools to properly answer this question with. And I've got these tools on page, 67 in the big book. Page 67 in the big book tells us he said, referring to our list again, putting out of our minds the wrongs others had done. We resolutely look for our own mistakes. Where have we been selfish, dishonest, self-seeking, and frightened? Though a situation had not been entirely our fault, we tried to disregard the other person involved entirely. Where were we to blame? Said, where were we to blame? When we saw our faults, we listed them, we placed them before us in black and white. We admitted our wrongs honestly and were willing to set these matters straight. That's the first time, not the first time, but the second time. The third time they referred us to the list. Because on the previous page, on 66, they said we turned back to the list, for it held the key to the future. I have to know how it holds the key to the future. This list that I've taken in step 4 holds the key to my future because it's going to unlock any barrier, obstacle, or it's going to impede any barrier to my emotional sobriety as I start living a life of sobriety and Alcoholics Anonymous. So the list is very important because the key is the basic ingredient. I'm going to need it. But if I don't have it, and I'm trying to do step 11, I'm going to be ill-equipped to do that with if I haven't taken the previous steps. So we subjected ourselves to a drastic self-appraisal. They told us that on, I think it was one page, they told us we subjected our own self to a drastic self-appraisal. But when we took this self-appraisal, we was also told that we usually find a solitary self-appraisal insufficient. Is that right? Mm-hmm. They said we had to share it with another person in step 5. See, even though I've examined myself, my examination is going to be largely insufficient, so I'm going to need somebody to cross-examine me. Does that make sense? Yes. So when I'm doing step 11, the simplicity with which they did it, and they're telling me to do it, or suggesting that I do it, my sponsor suggesting me to do it, I'll come out way ahead than going in meditation on a sunlit beach. I'm asking myself these questions in the beginning about the dark and negative side of my nature, so I can bring God's grace to bear on the dark and negative side of my nature. Y'all heard what he said on that prayer? Well, we selfish. Well, we thinking about somebody else. That's the dark and negative side of my nature. That's part of the meditation. So, back on page, he said, on awakening. This is another part. And this is important. Let us think about 24 hours ahead. We consider our plans for the day. Before we begin, we ask God to direct our thinking, especially asking that it be divorced from self-pity, dishonest, or self-seeking motives. But in step 9, self-seeking was supposed to slip away, wasn't it? Self-pity was supposed to disappear, wasn't it? Some kind of ways it crept back. Because I'm asking God especially to divorce my thinking from self-pity. Self-pity is a monster. You know, I know the life that I lived was so destructive, so full of destruction for me and others, countless others. I understand now why they say there's a long road of reconstruction ahead, because there was a long road of destruction behind. So I'm constantly plagued with self-pity. So I got to ask God to divorce my thinking from that. Why would Bill use the word divorce when there's no marriage involved? You know, I have to look up divorce. Divorce means complete separation from closely connected things. I'm so closely connected to self-pity It's like I'm closely connected to a woman, to my wife, because I've been married 4 times, y'all. I'm so closely connected to her. I'm emotionally tied up with her that I love her. I love everything about her, but she doing me dirty. She messing over me. She's screwing over me. She's screwing over me literally as well as figuratively. Y'all heard? Screwing beyond me. She's just treating me like a dog. But I love her so much that no matter what she do to me, I'm still trying to hold on.
Right.
So I'm going to need a judge, a higher power, to issue a decree of divorce, complete separation from closely connected things. this the language that they talk. That's the language they put it in.
Okay.
He said, let me see, where did I stop?
Divorce from dishonest, self-seeking motive.
Okay. Under these conditions, we can employ our mental faculties with assurance. For after all, God gave us brains to use. This is when my thinking come back. I can think now. He gave us brains to use. In thinking about our day, we may face indecision. We may not be able to determine which course to take. I don't know whether to go uptown or downtown. I don't know whether to go to Galleria or wherever, because I'm a salesman anyway. I might not know which way to go. Here, we ask God for inspiration, an intuitive thought, or a decision. We relax and take it easy. See, I don't have to struggle no more, trying to burn damage the wheels in my brain, trying to figure things out when I don't know what to do. Yeah, anybody ever put something in the house, and you know you just put it down, and now you're looking for it and can't find it? Now you're turning everything upside down and can't find it, don't know where it's at, but you know you just put it down, right? The moment you take your mind off of that and start thinking about something else, it pops up, right? Right? We relax and take it easy. We don't struggle. Now, we're often surprised how the right answers come after we have tried this for a while. For a while. What used to be the hunch or the occasional inspiration gradually becomes a working part of the mind. Being still inexperienced and having just made conscious contact with God, it is not probable that we are going to be inspired at all times. That's one of the reasons why I don't go to that sunlit beach in the beginning, or the plains or the mountains. Y'all heard? Now, it's nothing wrong with going to the sunlit beach, but I can go to the sunlit beach when it becomes logical and necessary for me to do so. Does that make any sense?
Yes.
Answer me.
Yes.
Oh, all right. Okay. He said, it is not probable we're going to be inspired at all times. We might pay for this presumption in all sorts of absurd actions and ideas. How many times y'all have heard people come into the rooms, haven't been through the 4th step, and is sharing with us what God told them? God told me to come tell y'all this. When I was out, God told me this, and God, y'all ever heard that? Have y'all ever heard that?
Yes.
You know, and then anything that I do, I'm putting it on God, and I'm justifying what I'm doing, and I'm in the worst sort of triple darkness. Especially when my actions produce baleful results. When my actions are harmful to other people, I'm justifying that in the name of God. He said, nevertheless, we find that our thinking will, as time passes, be more and more on the plane of inspiration. We come to rely on it. Hello, Tariq.
Good evening.
All right.
Am I on time, Kenneth, or what?
No, you're not.
Plus, I
You
guess.
see, now, this is crucial. Really crucial for us. We usually conclude the period of what?
Meditation.
Meaning that it just told us how to meditate. I'm going to say it again. We usually conclude the period of meditation with a prayer that we be shown all through the day what our next step is to be. The meditation is, according to this definition, written or spoken discourse expressing considered thoughts. Am I not reading something that's written? Expressing considered thoughts upon myself and my actions and how I've treated other people. Meditation in this sense is anything but being quiet and being on a sunlit beach. Meditation in this sense consists of me asking myself a bunch of questions. Am I right or wrong?
Right.
According to this book.
Yeah.
Meditation is anything but me saying and all of this kind of stuff. That's why he said we could easily be vague about this matter, but we believe we can make some definite and valuable suggestions. Now as time passes, and don't misunderstand, as time passes, as I get used to this power's guidance, not only can I go to the sunlit beach, I can go to Mars or Pluto if I want to, and relax on the moon. But right now in the beginning, I'm not there yet. You heard me?
Yes.
So
Good.
when I'm meditating, in the sense that the big book is talking about, it's not talking about sitting down zoning out.
Right.
Because he said, we usually conclude the period of meditation with a prayer that we be shown all through the day what our next step is to be. That we be given whatever we need to take care of such problems. We ask especially, as prayer, we ask especially for freedom from self-will, and are careful to make no requests for ourselves only. See, that's how I learned how to pray, y'all, in Alcoholics Anonymous. When I'm praying, telling God what to do, it never got no results. The only prayer that many times I've told God, and I meant it when I said it, if you only get me out of this situation, I swear I'll never do this again.
That's right.
And 15 minutes later, I was doing that again.
That's right.
And God knew when I said that, I meant that.
Yeah.
But something was driving me, right?
Yeah.
So I've said that many, many times. I've turned my will over to God countless of times. And took it back before I can get out of the dope zone area. You heard? So that's why they said, just what do we mean by this and what do we do? So they started explaining to us what they meant, the path they took, and the steps they took, and how they took them. The big book shows us how to take the steps. The 12 and 12 broadens and deepens our understanding of the steps, and helps us sometime when we're working with a newcomer. But the 12 and 12 was not meant to take a person through the steps. This gives us they said, to show others precisely how we have recovered is the main purpose of this book, not the 12 and 12. All right. He said, circumstances warrant. No, I missed something. He said, we may ask ourselves, however, if others will be helped. This is how I start calling God when I want to run game. If I want something, before I ask Him for it, I start thinking, can anybody else be helped by it before I ask? Y'all heard? That's what I actually do. If nobody can, if I'm the only one to see it, I don't ask for it. You heard? Why should I? When I'm asking for something from someone who already knows my every need. So it becomes pointless. You see what I'm saying? It's pointless. See, many of us wasted a lot of time this. We wasted a lot of time doing this. And it doesn't work. You can easily see why. If circumstances warrant, we ask our wives or friends to join us in morning meditation. Meditation come up again, if circumstances warrant. If we belong to a religious denomination which requires a definite morning devotion, we attend that also. If not members of religious bodies, We sometimes select and memorize a few set prayers which emphasize the principles we have been discussing. Whatever religion you go into, whether you be Buddhist monk or Catholic priest, or Muslim imam or Baptist minister or Jesuit priest, if the principles are, if the prayers are emphasizing these principles, then we utilize them. No matter if we are of a different religious persuasion, we still can utilize them. Remember they told us, be quick to see where religious people are right. Y'all remember that?
Yes, sir.
They never said be quick to see that religious people are right. They never said that. Because if they were saying be quick to see that religious people are right, they'd have messed up everything.
Right.
Because with all of the different dogmas and doctrines going on in this society, everybody can't be right, right?
Right.
But it told us be quick to see where they are right.
Yeah.
Now, the question come up, where are they right?
Okay.
All of them are right in their principles. Don't all of them teach brotherly love?
Yep.
If they don't do it, they teach it. Right? 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 All of them teach God consciousness, don't they?
Yes, sir.
All of them teach prayer.
Right.
All of them teach helping other people. All of them do that.
That's correct.
Not a religion on this planet don't teach that. Right? So we be quick to see where religious people are right. I can go to a mosque, a Catholic church, a Buddhist temple, a Jewish synagogue, and feel quite at home even if they don't feel like I'm in the right home. Y'all heard me?
Yeah.
Whenever I go back to whatever my religious persuasion is, I'm not going there to get help. The book done already told me. When I go back there, I'm going there to help many a struggling priest.
Yes.
What is he struggling under? The doctrine of sectarianism. Where they're straight-minded, narrow-minded. One way is the only way. Y'all heard what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you got people that's in there that's suffering from the same illness that I have, alcoholism and drug addiction, and don't know how to come up out of it.
Yeah.
So when I go up there, when I go back to my religious place leaning, I got something I can help that son of a gun with. Y'all heard? I'm looking for him. Even the preacher might be struggling with alcoholism, right or wrong? They say he's struggling, right? He could be struggling with alcoholism. Am I right or wrong? He could be struggling with, but I'm going there to help him. I'm going to be a bright light in that congregation. Y'all heard what I said?
Yes.
When I go back to that place, why? Because I've been given something. I've been given the gift of a spiritual awakening, not a religious awakening.
Right.
Spirituality supersedes all religion. So what we have been given is a precious gift indeed. Now it says, as we go through the day, we pause when agitated or doubtful, and ask not a prayer for the right thought or action. We constantly remind ourselves we are no longer running the show. Humbly saying to ourselves many times, saying not to God, to ourselves, thy will be done. We are then, at that time, because that's what the word then means. The word then means at that time and not before. We are then in much less danger of excitement, fear, anger, worry, self-pity, or foolish decisions. We become much more efficient. 10-step told us our next function is to grow in understanding and effectiveness, right?
Yes.
It tells us when I'm supposed to understand something. I don't have to understand the first 9 steps in order for it to work. But when I get to 10, they say your next function is to grow in understanding and effectiveness. Why? Because I'm getting ready to carry this message. And I want to be effective when I'm carrying it. He said, we do not tire so easily, for we are not burning up energy foolishly as we did when we were trying to arrange life to suit ourselves. It works. Dash. It really does. We alcoholics are undisciplined. So we let God discipline us in the simple way we have just outlined, right or wrong? That's what they said, right? What's the name of the topic of this discourse? The simplicity of the 11th step. He said we allow God to discipline us in the simple way we have just outlined. And by the way, the word simple occurs in the big book 18 times. And if you find where each time where the word simple is mentioned, you'll recognize that what we have been given is simple indeed. It is not complicated. He said, but this is not all. There is action. David, glad to see you here.
Thank you, brother.
You're welcome. Don't David look like Ray Charles? Y'all look at him. He looks just like Ray Charles. This is not all. There's action and more action. Faith without works is dead. The next chapter is entirely devoted to step 12. And ain't no chapter entirely devoted to anything but step 12. So, they say, have I kept something to myself in the 11th step which should be discussed with another person at once? Y'all remember that? Remember they told us we find a solitary self-appraisal insufficient? Right at 4? Right. Even though we subject ourselves to a solitary self-appraisal? Well, right here in 11, they're telling us that a solitary self-appraisal is still insufficient. Because whatever I think that I'm hearing from God could be, and most times is, my own garbled thinking. And I'm using that to justify whatever it is I'm doing. Yeah. God said one time, according to me, that he allowed people to have more than one wife. So I said to myself, God the same today as he was yesterday. Justification, rationalization, and what I'm thinking I'm hearing could be the voice of God, could be my own garbled, what you call it, rising up, self-rising up, right? And it manifests himself in various ways. And he's sneaky. Yeah. All right. I think, let me see. No, we got plenty more time. So, any questions? Well, this simplicity, was this explained in a simplistic manner?
Yes.
Yeah.
I asked a question.
What did you say?
I said the simplicity of the 7 steps. See, the prayer, the self-examination, what I did in 4, the meditation, that I'm asking myself these questions. Y'all heard me? Because I'm reflecting on this considered thought of a written discourse. And prayer. This is how it is logically interwoven instead of illogically interwoven or taken separately. Y'all heard? When Bill said, when logically interwoven, it produces an unshakable foundation for life. Well, when I take them separately, they will help. They are needed, they are necessary, and they are good. But they will not produce an unshakable foundation for life. So, logically interwoven is with the self-examination, and at times need a cross-examination. Got to check my thinking with somebody. And the meditation, bringing God's grace to bear on the dark and negative side of my nature. And the prayer. The way the big book wrote it, in step 11, they showed us how to logically interweave these 3 separate things. You heard? And it'll produce an unshakable foundation for life. I have 11 years of that life to bear witness to that. By doing that, by doing this has enabled me to stand on solid ground with a solid foundation, an unshakable foundation by any winds of circumstances, by any winds of trial, hardship, or confusion. It has enabled me to stand on it so I can bear witness to it. You heard? I can testify to what they're saying. This is one of the reasons why I give credit to the first 100 for writing a magnificent book. One of the greatest literary masterpieces of the 20th century. I forgot to pass the 7th tradition. And thank you all.
Thank you.
You ask a question?
Yeah.
My name's Tyler.
Why that's showing is controversial because exactly what you read in there, what the problem is this because life and death come out of the power of the tongue. You just said it right there. We are 100 men and women who have recovered past tense from a hopeless state of mind and body. To show other alcoholics precisely how we have recovered. Why is there more trouble because recovery and recovery? The mindset that insanity has been removed does not mean that I'm never free from it. Well, why do you think there's so much controversy over recovered? And that's what you read.
Well, I'm going to simplify it and I'm going to see if somebody else got something on that. Let's say if I tell y'all I'm a recovering alcoholic. That what you're talking about, right? If I tell y'all I'm a recovering alcoholic, what does that mean?
So it's the difference between being in recovery and being recovered? Is that the question?
If I say I'm a recovering alcoholic personally, because you got people who got 29, 39, 48 years and been through the steps who will say I'm a recovering alcoholic. So in that person's mind, they are a recovering alcoholic. And I can't tell them that they have recovered. If I call you, how would you introduce yourself?
I'm Joe, a grateful recovered alcoholic.
Tyreek, are you recovering?
No, sir. I have recovered from a seemingly hopeless state of mind and body.
How many other people up in here have recovered? And how many people are recovering? All right, now the people that's recovering, hold your hand up. Now, have any of you all been through all 12 steps?
Yes.
No.
The ones who are recovering? They said no. That answer your question?
Hold on, wait a minute.
Start over.
Wait a minute, there you go.
He wants to know why is people saying they are a recovering alcoholic when the first 100 said we have recovered.
Right.
Why would people be saying that's what he's talking about?
Oh, okay.
So the people who are recovering really is the people who are still in the process of going through the steps. Come on.
And hi family, my name is Sharon. I'm a grateful recovering alcoholic and addict. And the reason I say that is because and the reason I say that is because stopping using, was easy to do, but learning to live life on life's terms was my dilemma. And by saying that I have recovered, it's saying that there is a cure, that I'm cured, and there is no cure for this disease. It can be arrested, but there is no cure for this disease. And so each and every day I'm growing and I'm learning more and more about myself, about others, and how to stay sober and how to live a happy, joyous, and free life. So each and every day I feel as though I'm still recovering from a seemingly hopeless state of mind and body.
Okay, let's help with that because that's the purpose of the workshop. We're going to help the good sister with that. They told us this. They said, if you want what we have and are willing to go to any length to get it, then you are ready to take certain steps, right? What did you have? See, my question is, well, what do you have? And the book answers the question. They said what we really have is a daily reprieve. And they said, we are 100 men and women who have recovered from a seemingly hopeless state of mind and body.
100 men and women who are recovering?
No,
From a
we
seeming-
have recovered from. They're telling you what they recovered from. A seemingly hopeless state of mind and body. But they never said they recovered from the spiritual malady. From the spiritual malady, all we have is a daily reprieve. And it's the spiritual malady, my maladjustment to life, that enables me to be in that area, working on that for the rest of my life. But the spiritual, the seemingly hopeless state of mind and body, I have recovered from that. But I have not recovered from the spiritual malady. Against the spiritual malady, all I have is a daily reprieve. From alcoholism, my alcoholism is going to remain in effect until the day I die. That's what I'm working on for the rest of my life. But I'm not walking around here thinking about using dope or drinking alcohol. And I'm going through all kind of problems in life, and I'm still not thinking about using dope or going to fourth ward or third ward scoring. So that means I've recovered from that. But I have not recovered from the spiritual malady. You got a question? You have a question? Come on.
I'm on it. I'm an alcoholic.
Hey, on.
I think that all makes sense. I think it sounds great, but I guess maybe I'm just not there yet. I think I don't know, but I think I'll always have that thought of wanting to drink or use again. It comes up every now and then. Do I feel like I have recovered? No. And I don't know that I'll ever feel that way, even after what you've explained. I think I will always feel I am recovering. And the day that I feel like I have recovered, I have a problem. Because like everything that you're saying makes sense. I get it. The spiritual malady, but a hopeless state of mind and body, that's from day to day or moment to moment. One moment I'm hopeless, oh my gosh. And then I go, wait, you're an alcoholic. Just get through this day, just moment to moment. And the next day, it's perfectly fine. And then the next day, I'm hopeless, mind and body. Just goes from moment to moment. I don't even know what's going to happen in an hour from now, much less in a week or a year or 20 years of sobriety to say that I've ever recovered. I could say that I've recovered. I don't know how many times in the past I've said, I'm this. And then a week later, I'm not that anymore. I think it's a constant, for me, a constant effort. So that, for me, that's recovering. I'm always in action, always, and it never stops. I'm not trying to argue with anybody else's opinions. It's just hard for me to say I have recovered, and when I ever say that, I have a problem. For me, that's how I see it.
Guess what, y'all? She is absolutely correct. Yeah. You know why she is absolutely correct? And so is Sharon. You know why she's absolutely correct? Because she's saying how she sees it.
Yeah.
And who am I to tell you that you don't see it that way? So you absolutely, who am I? You heard? She is absolutely correct. I mean, just like at the big book study. We be having big book studies, right? And people will share what they're getting out of what the big book is saying. And unlike Tariq, hold on. For the benefit of y'all that don't know, this is who gave me my sponsor, y'all. When I picked up the desire chip, it was him who grabbed me by my hand and brought me to the dude and said, "This is your sponsor." That was so the people who differ, you are not wrong. Don't think you are wrong.
Exactly.
You know, you ever heard the expression, you right where you need to be? Yes. Come on, Eppolito.
The Merriam Dictionary has recovered and recovering both as a transitive verb, and they have the same definition.
Really?
Yep.
Isn't that something? So the people who say, you know, I used to wonder too. And matter of fact, I still do. Because I see certain people, not Joel, who say, I have recovered. But to me, you don't act like you done recovered. No, that's including me. Y'all hear what I'm saying?
Yes, yes.
Because including me. You know, because my own actions sometimes. I be saying, you know, like somebody asked me, well, Kenneth, how you feeling? Certain women will ask me, how you feeling, Kenneth? And I tell them, well, God is good, I'm feeling real good. I'm lying, I ain't how I'm feeling. But I ain't gonna tell you how I'm really feeling. You heard? Y'all understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So honesty, brutal honesty can be damaging sometimes. Yeah. So you know, I just used, in other words, I am not perfect. I ain't trying to be, Come on.
Two questions.
Run it.
The first one will be simple. I came in a little late. The impression I'm getting is that the 11th step, rather than 2 parts, actually is comprised of 3 parts. Is that correct?
Did y'all hear his question?
Yeah.
Did everybody hear his question?
No.
He said, is the 11th step comprised of 2 parts or 3 parts? That's what he said. You want me to answer that?
I do. For the benefit of newcomers like myself.
The 11th step taken from the board. We saw you.
Prayer and meditation.
We saw through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood Him.
Yes.
Praying only for knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry that out. In my humble viewpoint of it, it is not just 1, 2, or 3 parted, because I'm hooking up with an infinite power.
Hey, that's why I'm here to learn. Second question. I don't apologize being late for meetings, but for this workshop and you, I apologize for being late. It was Carol's fault. There go that thinking again, right? Now, the question is, I have my own view and opinion. I haven't come across any factual historical data defining this, but in your view, why do you believe that Bill, when he outlined the 11th step in the textbook, he started out with the retiring at night rather than upon awakening?
Y'all want me to answer that? I'm gonna put
in your opinion.
In my little humble opinion.
In your little humble opinion.
Y'all got to realize now, I
don't throw no curveball like you just did a little while ago now.
I never finished 8th grade. All right? Y'all need to know that.
Okay.
I have never finished 8th grade. So, I'm saying that so y'all can, when I say something stupid, y'all can understand.
Is that a win or an if?
He said, when retiring at night, instead of upon awakening in the morning, right? All right, now, the language of the big book. They said, we have written a book which we believe to be moral as well as spiritual. So the language that they're using, even though they have physical words, they have spiritual connotations. I'm retiring also from the darkness of the life that I just come out of. Y'all heard me? Yeah. And I'm waking up to this new life. Now let's pray. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Now, y'all please eat. Now, every workshop we have, we take the speakers. And they become available at the next workshop. So they are absolutely free. Y'all can pick up a CD when you go to eat. If you want to make a donation for the food, you can. But the tapes are free. And they got a whole bunch of them on that table. So thank you all for letting me grow with y'all, and y'all go eat.